Welcome to Rollout Mountain.
Wow! It's our new series! And I am so excited, Barry! Let's get racing!
Slow down, Al. Don't you think we should first explain to the fans what this event is?
Oh, right! This is our all-new series, and it's unlike anything we've done before on our channel. You see, this isn't a tournament. It's just a series of races for the sake of racing. We pick two cars we want to see matched up together, and then we see who could get down the mountain the fastest.
So there's no teams, no brackets to follow, or even rounds to keep track of.
Right, Barry. It's just best 2 out of 3 heats wins. And to start us off on the mountain, I thought we'd go big and get some tough-looking, rock-crawling 4x4s. Up first, we have this 1995 Jeep Cherokee, driven by Phil Larson, from his hometown of Thompson, Connecticut, right here in the good old USA. And it says here he works as a loan officer.
And he'll be up against this 2012 Lesney Ridge Racer, driven by Manuel Nunez. And he's all the way from the island of Porto Santo in the archipelago of Madeira. And when he's not racing, Manuel spends his days being a hotel resort manager.
Now let's get up to the starting gate and get this race started.
Here we are at the Guillotine Gate. Oh, sorry, Force of Habit. Here we are at the top of Rollout Mountain for Heat 1.
And don't worry, fans, we have a name for every part of the track, but we'll get to that later in the replay. For now, all you need to know is Phil is on the left side of your screen in the pole position in lane 1, and Manuel is on the right of your screen in lane 2. Now, I'm about to burst with excitement, so let's get to that countdown.
3, 2, 1, go!
Let's go! Whoa! Phil flips!
Manuel into the wall and across the line!
Let's check the replay! Well, fans, the tippy top of Rollout Mountain is called Redline Ridge. And once the gate goes down, it appears Phil's Cherokee had about a half a car length lead.
And the next part of our track is called Clunker Cliff.
Hey, this is the Scrapyard, so you know wherever we go, there's gonna be clunkers.
You're welcome! Because I had to fly each and every one of those rust buckets up here on this mountain with the good old Yellow Jacket. And everybody knows she's the best whirly bird in the history of whirly birds.
Well, you probably should have flown up twice as many, Wild Bob, because look how far these guys get off the jump.
Not only far, Al, but high. They both fly out of view from our camera.
Wow, that is some massive mountain air. And you can see how hard they both land once they get to the final part of our track, Victory Lane Valley.
Phil Larson lands and immediately flips over and is out.
Meanwhile, Manuel cuts the wheel hard to the left, trying to avoid the surprise jump we put in the middle of the valley, but he can't avoid his rear wheel catching it, and that causes him to go hard into the outside wall, leaving him little time to react before he crosses the line and slams into the safety rocks.
Really? We're bringing back safety rocks?
You better believe it, Barry.
Well, the one thing we can all believe is with that performance, Manuel and his Ridge Racer just got the first win in Rollout Mountain history. Here we are back at the summit of Rollout Mountain for Heat 2.
Racers are in the same positions. Phil Larson in lane 1 and Manuel in lane 2. Now let's get to that countdown.
3, 2, 1, go!
Massive jumps! Big wreck!
Phil fights to get that Jeep restarted!
He does it! Barely. Wow, that was wild! This time it looks like Phil was able to get half a car ahead of Manuel, going down Redline Ridge.
But they seem to even out right as they hit the jump in Clunker Cliff. And again, both racers jump off camera.
Maybe it has to do with the altitude so high up here on this mountain. Maybe there's less gravity.
I don't know about gravity, but maybe there's less oxygen, because I don't think your brain is getting enough. But speaking of gravity, both of these racers must have been feeling tons of it, because they landed brutally in Victory Lane Valley.
Seriously, look at the way Phil's Jeep comes down full force on his roof. Even Manuel is tumbling out of control.
But just when it seems like it's all over, Phil has some good fortune when his Jeep bounces back on its wheels.
And while I'm not sure if he was able to get his Jeep restarted, he was able to limp across the line.
Well, one place Phil did not limp is on our scorecard because he just tied this race all up. Back at the top of Rollout Mountain for the final heat. Lane change now has Manuel Nunez in lane 1 and Phil Larson in lane 2.
It's all tied up, Barry. Unless they both fall off the mountain, we're only moments away from finding our first ever winner on Rollout Mountain. So let's get to that countdown.
3, 2, 1, go! They're off!
Whoa! Manuel barrel rolls into the camera!
Phil Larson can't get across! This one is over! Let's analyze it in the replay.
What a way to end this one, Barry! It looks like Manuel wanted that win, and he flies out of the gate and is a full car ahead of Phil coming down Redline Ridge.
And Manuel keeps his lead and hits the jump first.
I still can't believe the height and distance these guys get off of that jump. I mean, you could see how high they're flying as they come into Victory Lane Valley. And Phil Larson has loads of trouble getting his Jeep on its wheels after that flight.
But just look at the way Manuel handles that Ridge Raider. He lands on his left side, barrel rolls, then bicycles on his right tires, then straightens out and goes all out across the line.
All out? Barry, he went warp speed and hit our safety rock so hard that he shook the camera.
And while Phil was able to get his truck back on its wheels, unfortunately it wasn't enough to repeat his Heat 2 win, and he just hits the wall and stalls. And unfortunately, Phil also stalls on our scorecard. But not Manuel, because he just scored his second win, making him today's winner.
Unfortunately, it both literally and figuratively all went downhill for Phil Larson in Heat 3. But he still put on an amazing show today.
However, Manuel Nunez from his small island of Porto Santo just proved that not only can he manage hotels, but he can manage his way down a mountain as well. Congratulations to our first ever winner on Roll Out Mountain.
So fans, what did you think of our new event? We want to hear all about it. Please let us know in the comments. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to come back for the next time we go down Roll Out Mountain.
Welcome to Roll Out Mountain.
Up first, we have this 1968 Citroën DS21 Palace, driven by Miss Marguerite Duval, all the way from her hometown of Saint-André-Réunion in France. And the notes say her job is making fancy house signs and selling them at crafts fairs.
And she'll be up against this 1972 Lotus Europa Special, driven by Sir Reginald Doyle from his village of Sunningdale, Berkshire in England. And it says here he's an aristocrat.
An artistic cat.
No, Al, aristocrat.
What's that?
That's English for trust fund baby. Here we are at the top of Rollout Mountain for the start of our impromptu France vs. England matchup.
From naval battles to World Cups, can these two ever get along?
Well, today's not gonna help broker any peace deals, Al, because only one racer is leaving this mountain victorious.
Well then, let's not waste any more time and get to that countdown.
3, 2, 1, go!
Let's do this! Zoom!
Lotus hits the second jump, but it's the Citroën that crosses the line. Let's check that replay.
I thought these vintage European cars wouldn't even be able to get up to 30 miles an hour. Did they prove me wrong, because boy, did they both tear down Redline Ridge.
And just like in our last race, the clunkers appear to just be set dressing because both the French and English racers launched themselves into the atmosphere.
It's more of that massive mountain air.
And it seems like Reginald didn't get enough of it, because once he lands in Victory Lane Valley, he hits our second ramp for another trip through the sky.
Unlike Marguerite Duval, who barrel rolls her way into the valley, straightens out, and launches that Citroën full speed into the safety rocks. I know these DS cars are famous for their suspension, but no way she was going to keep that car on its wheels after a hit like that.
Well, one more place Marguerite Duval made a big hit was on the scorecard, because she just scored the first win of the race. Here we are back at Redline Ridge for Heat 2.
The racers have switched lanes, England on the left, France on the right. Now let's get to that countdown.
3, 2, 1, go!
Blast off!
Slamming into the valley.
Both racers across the line, but Sir Reginald takes it.
Let's see it again in the replay.
We are all tied up here, Barry. Sir Reginald got the jump coming out of the gate in Redline Ridge, but Marguerite was able to even out right before they got to the jump.
And astoundingly, they both easily clear the field of clunkers.
Which is wild, Barry. That is a big field of clunkers, and they clear it just like they're hopping over a curb.
But they both pay for all that height coming into Victory Lane Valley as they both have brutal landings. And this time it's Marguerite Citroën that goes off the dirt jump, which helps get that powdered blue DS back on its wheels.
But as she struggles to straighten out, Reginald lines up to the wall and just pins the accelerator and doesn't let off until he slams his front bumper into the safety rocks across the finish line.
And while Reginald Doyle may have put an end to his front bumper in that heat, he also put an end to Miss Marguerite's chances at a shutout, because this race is all tied up. Back at the ridge for the final heat, the racers have opted to stay in the same lanes.
France has won, and England has won. We are moments away from someone walking away with massive bragging rights.
3, 2, 1, go!
Let's do this!
Wow!
They both flip, but Miss Duvall makes it across the line. Wow, Barry, that one was intense. This one really could have gone either way. I mean, they are super even coming down Redline Ridge. Even when they take the jump, they look less like competitors and more like a pair of synchronized swimmers.
But that synchronicity literally comes to an end once they land in Victory Lane Valley, as they go tumbling uncontrollably.
Right, Barry, but Sir Reginald's tumbles ended a backspin halfway down the valley, while Miss Duvall is able to turn her tumble into a reverse slide and is able to skid her way across the line.
While she may have gone skidding backwards across the line, she went full steam ahead on the scorecard because she just got her second win, and that makes her tonight's winner.
Maybe she'll go back to France and instead of making fancy house signs, she'll start making trophies. Unlike Sir Reginald Doyle, who isn't bringing back home any trophies to his lofty estate. But I'm sure Mummy and Daddy can afford to just buy him one at Harrods in London.
Well, what we can't afford, Al, is any more time, because this race is over. But please, fans, we want to hear from you what you thought about today's race. Please let us know in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe. And don't forget to come back next time for another trip down Rollout Mountain. Welcome to Rollout Mountain.
And today we have a special treat on Rollout Mountain because we have a fan driver who answered our open call. And before we meet him, if you want to be a driver, all you have to do is follow the instructions on screen and maybe you can see yourself in one of our videos. But for today, our fan driver is Sam Grateful Sam Cook, driving this classic 1968 Chevy C10 pickup from his hometown of Rock City, Georgia.
Do the notes say what he does for a living?
Nope. I don't see anything here. Maybe he's just a professional Scrapyard Diecast racing superfan.
Well, someone who is looking to change Sam's career status to unemployed racer is our second driver, Gavin Morrow from Oakland, California, in this beautiful 1941 Cadillac Series 62 convertible. And my notes do say that Gavin works as an accountant. Now let's us keep a count of the time and get to the top of the mountain and get this race started. Here we are at the top of Redline Ridge. Our accountant in the Cadillac starts out in the pole position. And one lane over, it's our superfan, Grateful Sam, in lane 2.
It's 1941 versus 1968. Man, we are going back to the classics. So let's do this and get to that countdown.
3, 2, 1, go!
Sam leads.
Sam takes off!
Sam hits the jump.
Gavin recovers and is across the line.
Sam tried to catch up but comes in second place. Wow, what a way to kick this one off.
Let's look at it again in the replay, Al.
That was some serious racing, Barry. Grateful Sam got the jump coming out of the gate and going down Redline Ridge.
And he still had his foot pinned to the accelerator as he came into Clunker Cliff, and all that speed caused him to take off and turn that old C-10 pickup into a SpaceX rocket.
And not only does he stick the landing coming into Victory Lane Valley, but Grateful Sam decides to get in another jump and hits the dirt ramp in the middle of the road.
Unfortunately, that causes Sam to flip into the wall, and while he's trying to straighten out, our accountant Gavin takes advantage by throwing that huge Cadillac in reverse and going wide across the track to pass the finish line and close the books on Grateful Sam's chance at a Heat 1 win.
But even still, Sam never gave up and still came in a pretty close second place.
But unfortunately, we don't give points for second, so our accountant can check his balance sheet because his risky reverse move just paid out in dividends with his first win. Here we are at the top of Redline Ridge for Heat 2. Our superfan, Grateful Sam, is in Lane 1, desperately looking for a win to stay alive in this race.
And Gavin Morrow is in Lane 2, looking for another win to put our superfan away for good.
3, 2, 1, go!
Sam leads.
Big jumps! Sam on his roof and across the line!
Gavin tries to pass but can't make it.
Let's see it again in the replay, Barry. Now we got ourselves a race going. For the second heat, Grateful Sam gets a huge lead coming out of the gate.
And it's also his second time he's first to the ramps in Clunker Cliff, and again launches himself into the atmosphere.
But this time he comes down hard on his roof in Victory Lane Valley, and he almost recovers, but ends up on his roof for a second time. Luckily, he had enough speed coming off that jump that he just barely managed to scrape himself over the line.
Gavin, on the other hand, manages to land the jump in reverse. And he tried to pull a handbrake J-turn, but doesn't have enough room, so he decides to just hit the gas in reverse and go for the win. But unfortunately, by the time he straightens out, Sam had already put himself way over the line. And another place Grateful Sam put himself is on the scorecard, and he just tied this race all up. It's the final heat. The racers are back in their original starting positions.
We are all tied up. Gavin Morrow is looking for his second win to make sure Grateful Sam's balance sheet comes up short.
And Sam is looking for his second win and the title of first ever Superfan winner on Roll Out Mountain. Good luck to both racers.
3, 2, 1, go!
It's close! Zoom! They all fall down!
Sam tumbles his way across the line. This one is all over. Al, one last replay.
What a great race!
All three heats, Grateful Sam was able to launch that truck off the line and take the lead down Redline Ridge.
And likewise for the jump in Clunker Cliff. This whole time, Gavin's Cadillac had a hard time on that jump. Maybe that convertible top had a parachute effect and was slowing him down.
Well, no one was slowed down as they entered Victory Lane Valley because they both go slamming hard into the tarmac and tumble their way down the valley.
Right, but Gavin is quickly out because he slams into that dirt ramp. Meanwhile, Sam does 2.5 complete rotations in that C10 pickup. I'm pretty sure Sam was feeling anything but grateful after all that spinning.
Al, I'm sure while he may have been a little shaken, he was still feeling mighty grateful because that performance gave him his second win, which not only made him today's winner, but also made him the first ever Superfan driver to win on Roll Out Mountain.
Meanwhile, our accountant yielded a 0 net income and has to go home to calculate his liabilities because he has no trophy and nothing to show for today's race.
but hopefully the fans don't feel that way. We hope you feel like you got a huge return on your investment by spending some time with us here on Rollout Mountain. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed today's race, please leave us a comment below.
And don't forget to share this video and subscribe to our channel,
So you could join us the next time we go down Rollout Mountain. Welcome to Rollout Mountain.
We had so much fun with the classic European cars in Race 2, we decided to go back across the pond and find 2 more contestants.
So let's get to it and meet today's racers.
Up first, we have a student driver. It's Ms. Wendy Sumner from Westminster, England, in her great-uncle's twice-removed 1967 Austin minivan. And just for the record, that's Mini Space Van, not minivan. It's a van made by Mini that's mini, which makes it a minivan, but not a minivan.
I think they get it. Let it go, Al.
Oh, you know what I mean. And it says here, Wendy is in university studying to be a psychology major.
And she'll be up against this 2008 Mark V Volkswagen Golf GTI, driven by Mr. Hans-Josef Kopp.
Whoa! We let cops race on the mountain? I mean, I know we close off the road, but I'm not really sure if we have all the proper permits and stuff to make this really, quote-unquote, legal.
Relax, Al. Hans-Josef's last name is Kopp, with a K. If you took a second to read it, it's right there on the screen. Anyway, Hans is from Schenkenberg, Germany, and he actually works as an ATM machine servicer.
Wait, so he's an ATM crook?
Al, that's just a fancy way to say repairman. Now let's stop blabbing and get this race started before we need a repairman to fix our subscriber count. Here we are at the top of Redline Ridge. Our student, Wendy Sumner, in the Mini is in lane 1.
And Hans-Josef, not a cop, is in lane 2. Here we go.
3, 2, 1, go!
They're off!
Blast off! Whoa, hard landings!
Hans makes it back on his wheels and is across the line.
Let's see it again in the replay. This one kicked immediately into high gear, Barry.
They were both fighting for the lead coming down Redline Ridge.
And once they hit the jumping clunker cliff, they took off like bottle rockets.
But they land like rock-filled bottles, while Hans-Josef is able to barrel roll and get that Mark V Golf back on its wheels.
It's a whole different story for our student because Wendy slides that minivan onto its roof, and then she hits our second dirt jump right in the middle of Victory Lane Valley.
And while that does get that little car back on its wheels, unfortunately it slams her into the wall and her car immediately shuts off.
And speaking of off, Hans-Josef was not off the accelerator because he flies across the line and slams into the safety rocks.
The other thing Mr. Kopp slammed into was our scorecard, because he just scored the first win of this race. We are back at the ridge for Heat 2. Quick lane change now sees the Golf GTI in lane 1.
And let's hope our student has better luck starting off in lane 2.
3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go!
Big jump!
Pandemonium!
Wendy is back on her wheels and across the line!
Incredible! Let's watch it again!
Now we got a race going, Barry.
Again, the competition was fierce coming down Redline Ridge.
And man, we're really gonna have to do something about those cameras in Clunker Cliff next season because everyone seems to be avoiding the clunkers in Clunker Cliff by launching themselves into the stratosphere.
Yes, Al, but those big jumps also result in big calamity once they land in Victory Lane Valley. Look at the way Hans-Josef Kopp almost accomplishes a complete front flip.
Emphasis on almost, because he comes down so hard on his roof and can't recover. Unlike our student Wendy, who comes down on her right wheels and is able to barrel roll, drift, and get herself pointed in the right direction inches before she crosses the line. I know she's majoring in psychology, but she may be minoring in showboating, because that performance was awesome.
And one more place Wendy put on a performance is on our scorecard, because this race is now all tied up. It's the final heat. The racers are back to their original starting positions.
We are all tied up. It looks like the student is trying to give a lesson, and the ATM repairman is looking to cash in.
Not bad, Al. Not bad.
You like that? What I was really gonna say is it looks like the student is gonna become the...
No. Al, for once, just quit while you're ahead.
3, 2, 1, go!
Massive air!
They collide! It's a mess!
Wendy across the line and Hans is right behind her.
Wow! One last replay.
What a great race!
All 3 heats, these racers were perfectly matched coming down Redline Ridge.
And likewise for the jump in Clunker Cliff. They get so much air, I thought they were gonna jump off the mountain and land all the way down at the Scrapyard junkyard.
But again, it's in the valley where things go off the rails. Hans goes for broke and tries to block Wendy into the wall, and that causes him to hit the dirt jump in the middle of the road, which does get him back on his wheels.
And again, Wendy shows how good she is at drifting that little mini, because she's actually able to slide that thing under Hans's Golf as he's coming off the jump. And again, she's able to get that thing pointed in the right direction as she speeds across the line.
Unlike Hans, who went all out in reverse trying to catch up but ends up clipping the wall, and that cost him getting across the line first. And that didn't just cost him the heat, because now with her second win, Wendy is today's winner.
Wendy came up this mountain a student, and she's leaving back to London as a master.
And while Hans Josef pulled off an impressive Heat 1 win, he just couldn't repeat that performance again.
And now his ATM needs service.
What are you talking about, Al?
He needs service ATM at the mountain. Get it? He needs help here because he just lost big time.
Al, be nice.
Fine. How about this? We hope you enjoyed today's race, fans. Please leave us a comment and hit that like button. And don't forget to share this video and subscribe to our channel.
That was a pretty good sign-off, Al. And before I sign off, I just want to say thank you all for watching. And I hope you'll join us again next time we go down Rollout Mountain. Welcome to Rollout Mountain. So let's get to it and meet today's racers.
We got something really different today, starting with Adrian Flores from Sacramento, California, in his 2004 Mustang Funny Car. And it says here, Adrian makes his living as a cost estimator.
And our next racer is Daryl Bonilla, all the way from Telbang, Philippines, in this very unique Asada Motors GT Hunter. And the notes say, back home in the Philippines, Daryl is an event planner. Now that we've met both racers, let's get to the ridge and get revving. Here we are at the top of Redline Ridge. Adrian's funny car is in lane 1, and Daryl in the GT is in lane 2.
Wow, Barry, these guys are used to only going a quarter mile at a time. I can't wait to see if they can make it all the way down the mountain.
3, 2, 1, go!
Let's go!
Take off! Big wreck!
Adrian steers around and is across the line.
Let's see it again in the replay. What a way to start this one off, Barry. As expected, both of these guys rocketed off the line. And once they hit the jump in Clunker Cliff, Daryl goes into orbit.
Meanwhile, we could see Adrian had big trouble at the jump and goes flipping as soon as he hits the ramp.
I think he's finding out the hard way that funny cars are not made for jumping.
But the outcome quickly changes once they get to Victory Lane Valley, because it's Daryl in the GT Hunter that lands hard on his roof.
And Adrian shows that his funny car is way better at handling than it is at jumping, because he skillfully steers around Daryl and our dirt ramp, and then straightens out and speeds across the line.
Well, with that win, I'm sure our cost estimator is already figuring out he is now in the lead and in a comfortable position in this race. Here we are at the top of Redline Ridge. The racers have opted to stay in the same lanes.
But I'm sure Daryl is not opting for the same results. He needs a win here in order to stay alive.
Good luck to both racers.
3, 2, Go!
Adrian is loose!
Whoa!
Adrian into the wall!
Daryl is across the line and into the safety rocks!
Let's get to that replay.
Wow, that was tense! Adrian's funny car got loose as soon as he left the gate at Redline Ridge.
But impressively, he was still able to keep it in his lane.
Yeah, but he was totally sideways by the time he got to the ramp in Clunker Cliff. I thought he was gonna go into the clunkers for sure, but it looks like even perpendicular, that funny car still had enough speed to clear them all. But he barrel rolls his way into Victory Lane Valley, and then just stalls and limps his way to the wall.
Meanwhile, Daryl Bonilla in the GT slap wheelies his way halfway down the valley, and he was still able to get that GT pointed toward the finish line and didn't let off the gas pedal until he rammed into the safety rocks.
And the other thing Daryl Bonilla rammed into was the scorecard, because now we're all tied up.
Back at the ridge for the final heat, the racers have switched lanes.
And more important than the lane positions is the fact that we are all tied up. Someone is one heat away from winning it all. Let's do this!
3, 2, 1, go!
Daryl leads!
Daryl out front!
Adrian gives chase!
Whoa! Late hit after the line by Adrian! What a sore loser!
Slow down, Al. Let's see what happened in the replay.
That was a serious ending, Barry. Daryl had to be a good 2 car lengths ahead coming down Redline Ridge.
And once again, Daryl is first to the jump in Clunker Cliff and launches off camera for the 3rd time in a row. Likewise, it's triple trouble on the jump for Adrian's Mustang funny car.
And Daryl is able to keep that GT on its wheels after a rough landing. And without missing a beat, Adrian Flores drafts close behind, looking to pass. And Daryl goes all out across the line and goes hard into the safety rocks. And seemingly not happy about his loss, Adrian comes in with a hard hit underneath the GT, sending him flipping on his side.
But on his side or not, Daryl was first across the line and pulled out a Heat 3 win, making him tonight's overall winner.
And I'm sure one event that this event planner was not planning on was a late hit after the line by a sore loser to end tonight's race.
Now, Al, let's not play favorites. Let's just congratulate Daryl Bonilla and hope that he has enough room in his luggage for his trophy on the way back to the Philippines. And while Adrian Flores won't have as long of a trip back home to Sacramento, California, let's hope he picks up a book on sportsmanship at the airport and reads it during his layover.
Well, this race just proved on Rollout Mountain a bruised ego can be just as dangerous as a guardrail-free cliff.
We really hope you enjoyed today's race, fans. But please, leave us a comment and hit that like button. And don't forget to share this video and subscribe to our channel so that you'll be right here with us next time we go down Rollout Mountain. Welcome to Rollout Mountain.
Up first, we have this 1960 Morris Minor Saloon, driven by Nigel Myers, who works as a proofreader in his hometown of Bonhill, Scotland.
And up second, it's the 2019 Fiat 500 Turbo, driven by Samuel Melli, all the way from San Nicolo al Torradino, Italia, where he works as an equipment installer. Now let's climb up to the top of the mountain and get this race started. Here we are at the top of Redline Ridge. We are starting off in production year order, which puts Nigel's Mini in lane 1 and Samuel's Fiat in lane 2.
And me and you are in the broadcast booth, and the fans are glued to their screens. We get it. Let's do this.
3, 2, 1, go!
Here they go! Into space!
Falling down the valley, Samuel recovers and is across the line. Nigel is stuck on his roof and is out.
Let's see it again, Barry! Wow! These Econo boxes really kicked this one off.
And for a car with barely a 1-liter engine, that Morris does a great job keeping up with a turbo Fiat.
And once they hit the jump, these tiny light cars almost go vertical. We immediately lose sight of them.
But things come into focus for them real fast once they get into Victory Lane Valley because they both eat pavement and tumble through the valley. And unfortunately for Nigel, he was never able to recover after the jump.
But Samuel is lucky enough to flip that Turbo 500 back on its wheels. And then he drifts his way across the line and goes slamming into the safety rocks. And another place Samuel drifted into was on our scorecard. Score 1 for Italy.
We are back at the top of Red Line Ridge. A quick lane change now puts Samuel's Turbo Fiat in lane 1, shifting Nigel's Mini into lane 2.
And facing a 1-win deficit, Nigel Myers is hoping the Mini delivers maxi performance.
3, 2, 1, go!
Off they go!
Into the sky!
Samuel wins the jump!
Myers hits the dirt ramp! Wow, that was awesome!
Let's inspect that action a little closer in the replay.
Well, I said Myers needed some maxi performance in that Mini, and he delivered.
Both of these small, lightweight economy cars catapult through the air as they hit the ramp in Clunker Cliff. But then Samuel Melly does something rarely seen here on Rollout Mountain. He lands the jump clean on his way into Victory Lane Valley. Even though Nigel Myers makes contact as he's tumbling his way down, Samuel is able to correct course and then spools up that turbo and rockets across the line.
And even though he crosses the line second, Nigel really stole the show. I mean, he barrel rolls his way into the valley, hits the jump sideways, does 2 complete barrel rolls in the air, pirouettes on his back bumper into a breakdancing backspin, and still manages to get his car back on its wheels and across the line. That was just awesome.
But unfortunately, we don't give points for awesome. We only give points for wins. And Samuel Melly just got his second one. It's the final heat. Samuel already has this one in the bag.
Even though this heat is pretty much just a chance to let Nigel get 1 win on the scorecard, the performance he just put on in Heat 2, Samuel is probably worried about Nigel becoming the People's Champion and is going to do everything he can to stop him.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Hit that countdown, Al.
You got it, Barry.
3, 2, 1, go!
Last chance. Soon. They're both over and back on their wheels.
It's a race to the finish.
Oh, dirty move.
Samuel is over the line by only 1 tire.
Man, I need to see that again. Man, Barry, this is why I love coming up to the mountain. What a great race!
Even though it was mathematically impossible for Nigel to win, he still went all out and got a full car height higher than the Fiat off the jump.
But they both come in for a really hard landing in Victory Lane Valley. And they both managed to get back on their wheels.
However, Samuel Melly had a much larger field advantage being so close to the finish line.
Right! And instead of trying to get over the finish line, he crosses the track to cut off Nigel's chance at even making it over the line.
But he made sure to have his back tire over the line, not only to cut off Nigel, but to ensure his own win.
That's a cold-hearted win, Barry.
Well, just like we don't give points for awesome, we also don't deduct points for a cold-hearted win. So that just gave Samuel Melly from Italy a perfect shutout victory. And now our equipment installer will have something to install when he gets back to Italia, when he figures out what shelf he wants to put his shiny new trophy on.
And while our English proofreader was never our English points leader, he did put on an impressive show and might even be considered the People's Champion. What do you think, fans? Let us know in the comments below. Well, fans, that just about wraps up another race at the mountain. Please leave us a comment and hit that like button if you enjoyed today's race. And don't forget to share this video and subscribe to our channel.
If you made it this far, we want to thank you so much for watching, and we hope you'll join us again the next time we go down Roll Out.
Rollout Mountain.
Welcome to Rollout Mountain.
And today, we have a super special treat. It's a racer dedicated Scrapyard Diecast racing fans will remember. It's Chang Lee from Miami, Florida, in his 2013 late model Dirt Super. And to new fans who don't recognize Chang or his dirt racer, he first joined us in Race 7 of the One and Done Challenge, where he was paired up against a school bus that was able to sneak its way into our tournament as a way of avoiding paying fees and charges of getting that bus into our car compactor.
It's a long story. Let's just say we were hornswoggled. Chang easily won that race, but his fortune quickly went south in the quarterfinals, where he couldn't outdrift a drift car, was spun in reverse, and stalled only a few meters before the finish line.
Right, he felt like he didn't get a fair shot in that tournament and kept asking us to let him race again. So here he is.
And to make sure we made things as fair as possible, he will be facing another dirt racer, namely this 2011 410 Sprint Kart Dirt Outlaw, driven by Dave Schulte from El Segundo, California.
That is a serious wing on that thing. Let's hope it keeps him on the track instead of flying off the side of the mountain.
Well, Al, how about we fly up to the top of the mountain and get this race started? Here we are at the top of Redline Ridge. Our returning racer, Chang Lee, starts out in the pole position, and one lane over, it's Dave Schulte's Outlaw in lane 2.
Let's see if Chang will be as super as his car, or if his win gets robbed by an outlaw.
3, 2, 1, go!
They're off!
Take off!
Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Did you see that?
You bet I saw it! Now let's all see it again in the replay!
That was incredible, Barry. The Outlaw got the tiniest of leads right at the end of Redline Ridge.
Then both these dirt racers fly out of view from our cameras once they hit the jump.
But once they get into Victory Lane Valley, that's where things go into insane mode. Chang Lee blocks Dave's Outlaw 3 times before they get to the dirt ramp.
But Chang was paying too much attention to blocking and not enough attention to the dirt ramp, and he ends up going on his roof and grinding to a standstill.
Unlike Dave Schulte, who even though he hit the ramp sideways, was still able to pull off 2 complete barrel rolls in the air and then lands the jump and handbrake slides and stops right over the line. Now I know why that car is called an outlaw. A move that cool has to be against the law somewhere.
Maybe somewhere, but not here at the Scrapyard, because that cool move got him across the line and more importantly got Dave Schulte his first win. We are back at the top of Redline Ridge for Heat 2.
Quick lane change has our current leader Dave Schulte in lane 1, which pushes our returning racer Chang Lee to lane 2.
Chang Lee needs a win here to stay alive.
3, 2, 1, go!
Neck and neck!
They flip!
Dave recovers and is in reverse and across the line.
Whoa, that was tense. Let's see it again. I bet that did not go the way Chang Lee wanted.
They were dead even coming onto the ramps in Clunker Cliff.
And coming into Victory Lane Valley, Chang Lee was fighting hard not to let Dave get that outlaw back on its wheels. And they both hit the dirt ramp all kinds of wrong.
But fortunately for Dave Schulte, besides a giant wing, his outlaw also has a roll cage, which helps him get back on his wheels. And while being in reverse, that gave him a clear shot of Chang Lee, helpless on his roof, so the outlaw took its time to cross the line.
Yeah, it's hard to tell if Schulte was being careful or if he really wanted to rub it in Chang's face. Like he was savoring the moment and saying, "Can you smell that? That's the smell of the second tournament you entered and the second tournament you lost."
Well, no one knows for sure what Dave Shelty was saying inside that Outlaw, but we do know he just scored his second consecutive win and locked this race all up. It's the final heat. The racers are back in their original starting positions.
This heat is pretty much a mercy run to see if Chang Li can get at least one win on the scorecard.
Will Chang Li end on a win, or will Dave Shelty and the Outlaw deliver a shutout victory?
Only one way to find out, Barry. Hit that countdown button.
3, 2, 1, go!
Chang by a bumper. Whoa! Whoa! Did you see that? Did you see that? Replay, replay, replay!
Okay, slow down, Al. One last replay.
Did you see how that ended, Barry?
Yes, we'll get there. Let's analyze the whole race. Chang Li had a razor's lead out of the gate and held on all the way to the ramp in Clunker Cliff.
Chang Li definitely felt like he had something to prove in this heat. I mean, look at the way he came into Victory Lane Valley. He hits the dirt ramp sideways, then barrel rolls onto the wall. Did you hear what I said, Barry? He barrel rolled onto the wall.
Of course I heard you. I'm sitting right next to you. All I do is hear you. Even in my sleep, I hear you.
Then he crosses the line, does a reverse nose slide, and crosses the line again before Dave Shelty makes it across. That was awesome.
Yes, it was, Al. Had Chang put on that kind of performance in every heat, maybe right now we'd have a different outcome. But Dave Shelty and his Outlaw easily secured today's win with victories in heats 1 and 2. And unfortunately, our returning racer couldn't get his show-stopping performance revved up sooner, and he goes home empty-handed.
Wait a minute, Barry. I just realized something. In that last heat, Chang Li crosses the finish line twice before Dave Shelty made it across. So didn't he win twice in one heat? Shouldn't the score be tied at 2 wins apiece? Maybe we need a sudden death heat.
That's not how it works, Al. You can't win twice in the same heat. Even if I went along with your logic, he would have come in first and second, and Dave would have taken third in the last heat. Oh, what am I doing? Why am I even humoring this nonsense?
I don't know. I say we take it to the fans. What do you think, fans? Does Chang Li deserve a sudden death rematch? Or maybe we should just give him another shot in a different tournament? Let us know what you think by leaving us a comment.
More importantly, fans, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed today's race, please make sure you subscribe to our channel so you could join us the next time we go down Roll Out Mountain. Welcome to Roll Out Mountain. Welcome back to Roll Out Mountain.
And if this is your first time here, we pick 2 cars we want to see matched up together, and then we see who can get down the mountain the fastest. It's just the best 2 out of 3 heats wins.
And today, our race has everything to do with arguably one of the top 5 greatest years in pop culture. The magical year of 1983.
And that's partly because of our first racer today. She was born in 1983. It's Mrs. Lori Gatchel from Catesti, Romania, where she works as a hairdresser. And just like Lori, her car was also born in 1983. She received it from her grandmother. It's this beautiful 1983 Alfa Romeo GT V6 3.0.
Our next driver is also connected to the number 83. It's Lou Carruthers, and he himself is 83 years young, and he's the owner and operator of a cafe in Industry, California. And it says here in the notes that as a teenager, he found his 1983 DMC DeLorean abandoned in an old mine, and after it remained unclaimed for the appropriate amount of time, the car became legally his.
Wait, what? How could he have found it as a teenager? He's 83. By my math, Mr. Carruthers was a teenager in like 1955. And that car is from 1983. How could it have even been abandoned 30 years before it was built? That has to be a typo.
I don't know, Al. I don't get paid to write the notes. I only get paid to read them. Anyway, here we are at the top of Redline Ridge. Our ladies' first policy has Mrs. Gatchel and her Alfa Romeo in the pole position.
And one lane over is our typo-riddled and/or time-defying grandpa in lane 2.
3, 2, 1, go!
Off they go!
Alpha leads.
Hard off the jump!
DeLorean on its roof and across the line.
And hard into the safety rocks! That was great, Barry! Lori had almost a full car lead at the end of Redline Ridge.
Then both these racers fly out of view of our cameras once they hit the jump.
But once they get into Victory Lane Valley, it looked like that old saying, the higher they fly, the harder they fall.
That's not at all how that saying is supposed to go, Al. Another thing that's not going how it's supposed to go is Lou Carruthers' DeLorean, because he lands on his roof coming off the jump and glides all the way down the valley and across the line.
Gliding? I don't know, Barry. To me, it looked like old man Carruthers got that DeLorean to float across the line.
A floating DeLorean? You're ridiculous, Al. That could never happen. But something that can happen is an 83-year-old in an upside-down DeLorean can become the oldest driver ever to win a heat at Rollout Mountain. We are back at the gate for Heat 2. Lou Carruthers chooses the pole position after his win, which shifts Lori Gatchel and the Alpha over to lane 2.
Now let's shift this race from ready to set and go.
3, 2, 1, go!
Here they go!
Take off! Massive block by the Alpha!
Gatchel zooms across the line!
Let's see that again, Barry! Wow! What a heat, Barry!
They were pretty even coming down Redline Ridge, but Lori managed the tiniest of leads.
And to stay on topic for this race, it looks like they easily soared 1,983 feet off that jump.
Then in Victory Lane Valley, both racers coming for a hard landing.
However, Lori Gatchel is able to land the jump, and she immediately cuts in for a block, sending poor old Lou into the wall and ping-ponging down the track as he's on his roof upside down.
Meanwhile, Mrs. Gatchel pulls a lovely handbrake drift and skids across the line for the win.
And the other place Lori just drifted is onto the scorecard, because she just tied this race all up.
The final heat.
Mrs. Lori Gatchel's win gives her lane choice, and she wants to keep things the way they are. She'll stay in lane 2, and the DeLorean stays in lane 1.
Let's get to that final countdown.
3, 2, 1, go!
DeLorean leads!
Another massive jump!
Lou barrel rolls!
And he also drifts across the line!
One last replay, Barry! What a way to close this one out, Barry!
This time, Lou gets the lead coming down Redline Ridge.
And they hit that ramp so fast, I bet they were doing at least 88 miles an hour. And once they get to the valley, Lori has a hard time landing, hits the ramp, and reverses to a stop against the wall.
However, Lou Carruthers is able to flip his car back around and drifts almost the complete length of Victory Lane Valley.
Good thing those safety rocks were at the end of the line, or the way he was drifting, he could have drifted all the way back to the future.
Well, with that second win, Lou Carruthers becomes the first 83-year-old not only to win a heat, but to win a whole race here at Rollout Mountain. And unfortunately, while Mrs. Lori Gatchel put on a great show in her Alfa Romeo, it was just not enough to win here on the mountain.
Well, I was skeptical at first, but Lou Carruthers... Oh, hold on, Barry. It's actually Lou calling from the winner's circle. Hey, Lou. We're kind of in the middle of the wrap-up here. What? What do you mean you knew you were going to win? What? When you found your DeLorean in the mine, there was a 2015 sports almanac in the back. Lou, I think you need a calendar and a calculator, because all your dates don't add up. I'm starting to question if you're even really 83 years old.
Al, I'm starting to question if you hit your head on the sink after slipping off the toilet while hanging a clock. Now can you please focus, Al? It's time to close out this race. But first, a question for the fans. What did you think of our 1983 race? Let us know by leaving us a comment. And more importantly, thanks to all you fans for watching. If you've enjoyed today's race, please make sure to subscribe to our channel so you could join us the next time we go down Rollout Mountain. Welcome to Rollout Mountain.
And today is our last race of Season 1 of Rollout Mountain. So I thought we should feature the fastest vehicles on the planet. And our first vehicle is driven by Patrick Larson from Grand Junction, Colorado, where he obviously works as a delivery man in his 2020 Freightliner MT55 P1200 step van.
Wait a second, Al. You just said today's race features the fastest vehicles on the planet. And the first racer is a delivery truck?
First, that's a horrible impression of me. I sound nothing like that. And second, this isn't any delivery truck, it's an overnight service delivery truck. Last month, I needed to send something to my mom all the way on the other side of the country, and she got it the very next morning. Do you have any idea how fast that truck had to be able to do that?
That's not how overnight delivery works, Al. Oh, never mind. Our next driver really is in one of the fastest vehicles on the planet. And as a bonus, to close out the season, it's another superfan driver. And if you want to see yourself in one of our races as a superfan driver, then just follow the directions on screen. Today's superfan is Aiden Richards from Vermilion Bay in Ontario, Canada. And when Aiden isn't spending time studying our races, he's studying his books because he's a full-time student. And it says in the notes, he loves doing chores to help out his mom.
Well, regardless of today's outcome, anyone who loves to help out their mom is already a winner in my book.
You got that right, Al. Now let's get up to the top of the mountain and get this race started. Here we are at the top of Redline Ridge. Our delivery man, Patrick Larson, starts us out in the pole position.
And one lane over is our Canadian superfan, Aiden Richards, in lane 2. I got a really good feeling about this race, Barry, so let's get to that countdown.
3, 2, 1, go!
Aiden leads!
Off the jump!
Aiden on his roof!
Step fan out of control and across the line!
Wow! Let's get to that replay! That was great, Barry. Our superfan Aiden Richards managed to squeeze out a small lead coming down Redline Ridge.
And I will admit I was very impressed that Patrick Larson was able to get that 23,000-pound truck off that jump.
Not only did he get it off the ramp, but he was able to barrel roll it and get it back on its wheels in Victory Lane Valley. That was pretty impressive.
Well, equally impressive, our superfan Aiden Richards didn't land on his wheels, but while on his roof, was still able to give that delivery van an upside-down block, sending it spinning out of control.
And yet, even though that was a great block, Patrick Larson was able to keep that top-heavy van from tipping over, and he spun his way across the line and was welcomed home into the warm, loving embrace of the safety rocks.
Al, have you been reading greeting cards for fun again?
Yeah, how can you tell?
I can tell, Al, just as easily as I can tell that after that heat, Patrick Larson delivered this race's first win.
Delivered that win like an overnight package. See? I told you that was the fastest vehicle on the planet.
Al, sometimes I wish you were a package and I could return you to sender. Back at the top of Redline Ridge for Heat 2. After his win, our delivery man, Patrick Larson, has opted for the same positions at the starting gate.
Well, I bet our superfan, Aiden Richards, is opting for different positions at the finish line.
Good luck to both racers.
3, 2, 1, go!
Patrick tips!
Finally!
Patrick is out!
The superfan spins across the line!
Yeah, awesome! I need that replay! That was great, Barry.
Patrick Larson loses it, and the aforementioned top-heavy step van tips over.
And finally, after a full season of Rollout Mountain, someone finally hits a clunker in Clunker Cliff.
Thank heaven! I was starting to think me and the yellow jacket flew all them clunkers all the way up this here mountain from the scrapyard to serve as little more than set dressing. And the only dressing I like is barbecue sauce on my salad.
Wait, wow, Bob, you use barbecue sauce as salad dressing?
No. This is the last race of the season. We are not doing this. We're going to keep at least one race professional. After losing it on the jump, our delivery van had nothing but trouble coming into Victory Lane Valley, and he hits the wall hard and immediately comes to a halt. Meanwhile, our superfan Aiden Richard is frantically working the steering wheel to avoid hitting the tumbling step van and keeping that low-to-the-ground Formula One racer as far as he can from that dirt ramp.
But unfortunately, Aiden can't react fast enough, and he smacks into the outside wall, sending him spinning, and he too spun his way across the line and was welcomed home into the warm, loving embrace of the safety rocks.
Al, next time you're out leisurely reading greeting cards, see if you can find a go-away card. I know a certain coworker I'd love to give it to.
That's not a nice way to talk about Wild Bob.
Guess again, Al. But speaking of guessing, after that win, our superfan Aiden Richards has just tied this race all up. So now it's all of us who will be guessing who will drive away with the win and overall victory in Heat 3. It's the final heat.
After his win, our superfan Aiden Richards has decided to change lanes for the tie-breaking heat.
Let's not waste any time and get to that final countdown.
3, 2, 1, go!
Let's go!
Big jumps!
Whoa!
Aiden across the line for the win!
Patrick Larson also makes it for a late second place. Wow! One last replay, Barry. Wow! What a way to close this one out, Barry. They seem pretty even coming down Redline Ridge.
And this time they both keep it on the track and got incredible height off the jump.
Right, but our superfan Aiden Richards had a huge lead, and he decided to show off a little bit and actually used our dirt ramp to pop a wheelie into a reverse J-turn in a Formula One racer. And then he even spun that race car to face forward as he crossed the line.
And it seems like Patrick Larson, having no hope of winning, also wanted to put on a show for the fans and pulled the emergency brake and spun that step van across the line with some flair. Well, with that second win, our superfan closes this race and our season of Rollout Mountain with a win.
So congratulations to our superfan. We already thought you were a winner when the notes told us you love helping out your mother, but now you're a winner as a racer as well. Great job! What a way to represent for the superfans.
And unfortunately, our delivery driver, Patrick Larson, just couldn't deliver the wins.
Yeah, I guess we learned that if you really need a package on time, every time, use a Formula One car.
And speaking of time, it's time to not only close out this race, but our first season of Rollout Mountain. Plus, now that we know the atmosphere is so much thinner up here, we're gonna make sure we position our cameras high enough so we get the massive jumps in Clunker Cliff in frame. Barry, you is absolutely correct. I was starting to think me and the yellow jacket flew all them clunkers all the way up this here mountain from the scrapyard to serve as little more than set dressing. And the only dressing I like is barbecue sauce on my salad. We know. More importantly, fans, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed today's race, please make sure to subscribe to our channel so you could join us next time for an all-new season of Rollout Mountain.
But in the meanwhile, be sure to check out our playlist to catch up on all our other tournaments and events. And if that's still not enough Scrapyard Diecast racing action for you, go check out our Shorts channel and subscribe.